If you want the Ohio State Buckeyes to beat Texas in the CFP semifinals, show it by liking today's video right now. Don't let that Team Up North trolls prevent us from winning. Like the video if you haven't already done so. We're going to begin with some transfer portal rumors as that begins to kind of wind down, but still there's plenty of action going on right now. We've got some recruiting buzz as well ahead of the Cotton Bowl matchup against Texas, and some news to get caught up on as it relates to the transfer portal as well. First up, former Duquesne linebacker Ty Howard has signed with Ohio State out of the transfer portal. I will not lie to you guys. I have not watched a single snap of Duquesne football. At most, I watch them come March Madness time if they're relevant at that point. I don't even know if I have any access. I got a lot of all 22. I don't think I have any Duquesne all 22. I'll have to check my database there. But we do have stats for him. 52 tackles, 7 TFLs, 3 interceptions, by the way, 4 sacks, kind of more of a blitzing linebacker. Whenever you add a player of this caliber, this kind of jumps out to me as like either A, the staff and Mark Pantoni think they've identified a really undervalued player, or this is just like your backup. This is going to round out the back end of your roster maybe before your freshmen are ready. You add a player to the team that can be your linebacker 5 or 6, not someone you're necessarily banking on playing big roles, because Duquesne to Ohio State honestly is probably a bigger jump in talent level than some of these high school recruits are going to face. I mean, there's plenty of teams out there with a bunch of 3-stars, especially if you're playing at certain programs in certain cities and states. That is a sizable jump. So maybe they want to give time for Riley Pettijohn and Tavares Alford and Eli Lee to grow and develop and not count on linebackers playing early. And you're almost signing like I'll borrow NFL turn of phrase here, the vet minimum player just in case they need to be a backup for you and maybe they don't play in the actual games that matter. That makes it now 6 transfer portal additions for the Buckeyes. Phillip Daniels and Ethan Oninawa, tackle transfers. CJ Donaldson, the running back from West Virginia. Max Clare, the tight end. Logan George, the defenseman from Idaho State. And Ty Howard. So some big-name guys and some small school guys as well. I want you guys to grade the Ty Howard signing A, B, C, D, or F. And if you just want to type in T for trust in Ohio State and their decision-making, I'm actually fine with that as well. It will be the pinned comment on today's show, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Other transport updates, and maybe the Howard one was a direct result to this one going on. Mitchell Melton is going to enter the transfer portal, which I am a little bit disappointed by. He flashed a couple times this year, 2 sacks and a very limited playing time. It's going to be obviously an overhauling of the room with a lot of NFL players off along that front 4, front 7, which is a good thing. It's how it goes at Ohio State more often than not. But that is a notable loss there for the Buckeyes. One of the backup tight ends, Patrick Gerd. I mean this with every bit of respect, but I think you could guess if you had a list of the last names and the photos next to him, I think you'd be able to identify Gerd based on the mustache. I mean that as a positive thing, by the way. It's kind of like how owners look like their dogs. Sometimes the last name matches the face. Gerd hadn't done anything this year, though. 1 catch, 6 yards. You bring in Max Clare. It's an obvious upgrade, 1-to-1 flip on that front. Now, Sam Williams-Dixon is also reportedly entering the transfer portal. Probably a direct result of C.J. Donaldson hopping in. That would give Ohio State 11 players in the portal. Williams-Dixon was going to be at best RB3 this year, maybe RB4. So him leaving a bit disappointing. You never want to lose players, but Donaldson's better. I think they like Peoples more. They've got a couple recruits coming in. They'll be okay there. So it's 11 players in the portal, 6 guys in. Maybe not done. I think it is always the timing sucks for some of these players, especially guys that aren't playing. But like, hey, do them if they're not already. I'd always advise them do what Devin Brown is doing. Stick around, be with the program. Work on finding your next destination, but don't bail on your teammates in the middle of a CFP run. Plus, you're the favorites to win the whole dang thing. Get your national championship. You'll always have that, even if the football side of it professionally doesn't work out for you. That's what I would advise. The timing does kind of suck for players. Today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to only show you incredible deals on great seats. Don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. Game Time Picks is curation to make it easier to find better value for tickets on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. I always advise toggling the all-in pricing feature so there are no surprise fees at checkout. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Again, terms apply. Download the app today over at GameTime.co. Use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Offensive linemen are very popular in the transfer portal because a lot of teams need them. Of note, one notable player is Elijah Pritchett, who started a bunch of games over the course of his career for the Alabama Crimson Tide. He is once again entering the transfer portal. There was this tweet that I feel the need to acknowledge from one of the old, anonymous accounts that don't have any names attached to them. Woody versus the world quote tweeted it, said, talked to him earlier, said he's a Buckeye. That was 3 days ago. He's visiting Nebraska. Seems unlikely to be the case. Whenever I see the anonymous accounts doing that, it raises red flags. And also, I saw it a bunch of times on my timeline. It was retweeted by a lot of people. So I did want to acknowledge it. It's not past the smell test to me. And frankly, I don't think Elijah Pritchett's any good. I talked to our Bama guy, who we have a Bama channel here at Chat Sports. He's like, bye, don't care, see ya. Now, they said the same thing about Seth McLaughlin, too. But, Pritchett was not playing very well. So, do you want Elijah Pritchett to be a Buckeye? Y for yes, N for no. You can let me know your honest opinions in the comment section of today's video, Y or N. One little bonus storyline to monitor for the Cotton Bowl CFP semifinal here. Texas is the only Big 12 school Will Howard was unable to beat during his time at Kansas State. Howard said this, they're always a good team, but none of those games are unwinnable. Definitely excited to get another chance at these guys. Texas is a heck of a football team, so we're going to have to be on our stuff. I know there's a lot of people back in Kansas that are rooting for the Buckeyes to get this one done against these guys. And they were close several times. Now, hilarious score in 2020. 2021, Texas won 22-17. That was a winnable game. Didn't play in 2022. They lost by a touchdown. Lost in overtime in 2023. That was a fantastic football game if you didn't catch it, by the way. Howard certainly wants to win, not just to beat Texas. That's a side plot. It's about national championship stuff. Now, we will be live for the CFP semifinal Cotton Bowl. We will be tri-casting on our Cowboys Report YouTube channel, of course, here on the Ohio State Report, and the Chat Sports YouTube channel. So it'll be I will just be very excited when plays happen type of game. And then we'll do our post-game show on the Buckeyes as well. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out, youtube.com/GoBucks. One of the notes, hey, and now as a Cowboys fan, I see this a lot with Micah Parsons not getting called at any time. OSU opponents haven't been called such accepted for an offensive holding since the Marshall game. That was in September. That's embarrassing stuff. I think every football player fan of any level would go, hey, you've gone double-digit games with 0 holding calls. Is that accurate? They would all say, there's no way that's right. It means the calls aren't being called, that they are holds are happening, and the Buckeyes aren't getting the calls as a result. Sonny Styles had this to say. Yeah, we're aware of the stat. Don't pay much attention to it, though. You got to play through it. Just let your talent take over. Don't let it come down to a ref's decision. Good mindset, Sonny. Tyleek Williams said this. I think our whole D-line gets held every game. I don't know what the refs are saying or what's going on with that, but it's on the tape when we look at it, and we're held almost every play. We can be actors, but we don't really teach nothing like that. I don't know if it's because we're Ohio State and they let things go or what it is. It's been pretty bad. I know y'all see it too. It's every play, almost every game. Now, I don't know about every play, but you could also, there's the old saying, you call holding on every play. There were several ones against Oregon. Like there was, now the rip move that Ohio State likes, is it technically holding, but it gets called still, so like who cares? It's been ridiculous. The lack of holding calls is frankly a joke. Now, maybe in a game that's supposed to be a more even matchup, the calls will come. And I don't believe any games are fixed. I do think all leagues of every sport hope for close games. And there is a bit of a correlation to, hey, the underdog team gets the benefit of the doubt more on the calls. Not the case against Ohio State, Texas. That's a game that maybe they let the boys play, but if it's egregious as we've seen, got to call the holding at some point.